In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at problem solving and computing in code.org, and we are going to focus on the paper towers option. So in your journal, I want you to answer this prompt. What makes someone a good problem solver? And I want you to come up with 3 ideas, except we're not going to share them with a group or like in a discussion post, but it is something that I will be able to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a timer, and you can answer this and I'll let you go ahead and go. Okay, so what are these 3 ideas? Okay, you've written those in your journal, and we will be able to look at them later. So your question of the day: what can help us to work together and solve problems as a team? Now, since this is a virtual class, this is going to be a little bit difficult to navigate because you don't necessarily have a team. It may be somebody that you're sitting in a classroom with also taking this class. It may be somebody that you have at home that you can work with. And so working together as a team is going to look a little bit different for this particular class. So you've got an activity that you're going to do, and I went over in this assignment post. It says what you need to submit, and that's going to be the completed activity guide, which you can download right here, a before testing photo of your paper tower, because once you test it, it's going to crash. Okay, so take a photo before you test it each time, a photo after you test it each time, and then a paragraph with no more than 5 sentences explaining the strengths and weaknesses of your paper tower. And so I gave you an example of what that would look like right here. So let's see, where were we? Okay. So for your activity, you need to, the purpose of this activity is to build a tower that goes as high as possible and can stand for at least 30 seconds using sheets of paper. You will build 2 towers and will try to improve your design between the first and the second. So your rules for this activity are that you may only use the paper provided to build your tower. You may not touch or adjust your tower once everyone lets go of it. So you'll need a timer. You'll need no more than 20 pieces of paper for this entire activity. So I would maybe just stick with 10 sheets for your first tower. Okay, that way you've got 10 for your second tower. You want to build it as high as it can go. And it needs to be able to stand by itself for at least 30 seconds. So the first thing that you're going to do on your activity guide, okay, right here, plan. You need to develop a plan. So how does your group, how do you and whoever you decide to work with plan to build your tower? Write a description or draw a picture. What is your paper tower going to look like? What are the strengths of this design? What possible weaknesses might this design have? Answer those and use complete sentences. How do you use complete sentences to do this? Well, create a text box and say, repeat part of the question. Okay, how does your group plan to build your tower? We plan to build our tower by. Okay. And then I need another text box down here. What are the strengths of the design? The strengths of the design are, and you can give 2 to 3 strengths. The weaknesses, or I would say, because the question says what possible weaknesses might include, and then give 2 to 3. Okay. And then what you're going to do is build your tower based on that design you had. Test your tower. Grab a timer on your phone or Google. Okay, well, take a picture first, all right? Make sure it stands for 30 seconds. You could also record a video, honestly. All right, did your tower stand for 30 seconds? Yes or no? How tall was it? You need to be able to measure it, okay? What needs to be or can be improved? Is there something specific that needs to be improved as to why your tower didn't stand? Okay, and so what you need to do is evaluate what needs to be improved. What are the most common kinds of problems you see among the towers tested? You're not going to be able to see this part. So what we're going to do is, for the evaluate and improve, I want you to Google paper towers code.org and let's see what you come up with, okay? I'm going to do it real quick. Make sure that's a good option for you. And I just want you to look at the images, okay? Yeah. Okay, that's exactly what I want you to tower. That's exactly what I want you to Google. And look at the images. Okay, now you can complete this. Okay, what are the most common kinds of problems you see, and what ideas seem to be working well? Answer those questions here, and then you're going to develop a new plan. How do you plan to build your tower? Write a description, okay? And if you find a really good example that you like in those images, I want you to copy the link to the image and paste it in here, okay? Because that's okay. All right? You've built the tower. Okay? So it's okay if you have found a design that you think might be more successful than what you came up with, okay? So what are the strengths of this design and what possible weaknesses might it have? So go ahead and build it. Test it for 30 seconds. Don't forget your pictures. What needs to be improved or what can be improved? And then I want you to give a reflection on here. Okay, how did working in a team make this activity easier? How did it make the activity more challenging? And what helped your group overcome these challenges? You're going to answer those questions. And then you're going to submit what I have asked for you to submit. So that means you're going to create a Google Doc, insert a picture from before testing, insert a picture after testing, and then a written explanation. And so it'll probably be 2 pages unless you include a picture here and a picture here. That's possible. So you can do that way if you would like. Okay, test, evaluate, develop a new plan, test. And then that's going to be it for this lesson, okay? These are going to be answered on that activity guide, so make sure you answer those in order to get credit for this journal prompt. And again, our question of the day was, what can help us to work together and solve problems as a team? So did this activity help you answer this question?